Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 29 of the Thunder Gals. We're,
Nine. I'm gonna run out of fingers.
you are, I don't think you have 29 fingers, so, I think you'll be able to keep going the way
Hush.
you're doing
Don't be technical.
it.
I'm still on meds, Brittany. I'm still medicated.
Coming
It's
off of
my
the injured
excuse today.
list.
Yes. I don't know. I'm tired. I may be questionable for at least the first half of the game tonight.
Oh, goodness. Well, those of us on Threads, we saw that Paula had a little bit of a health emergency that cost her some time in the ER and the hospital. But you're back home today.
I am back home, and thankfully, I don't have to watch the game on my iPad again. But thankfully, I did have it, and I got to see the Thunder win game 2 of the series against the Lakers on Thursday night.
Yeah, a much closer game throughout most of it than maybe even the first game was. Lakers actually had the lead at halftime.
I saw that. I thought it
Um,
was the drugs, but then I realized no, that was actually legit.
Again, their game plan on Shea, seems to be somewhat working as far as holding his scoring down. But
Yeah, it really is. That the double teaming on him is making a huge difference on his numbers, except for his assists.
yeah, unfortunately for them, we have a lot of other players who can also score the basketball, namely Ajay Mitchell, Jared McCain, and let's not forget Chet Holmgren, who is having a fantastic series.
He is. I am so excited watching him stretch on the offensive side and just step in where he can. I don't know. I just enjoy watching him. He's grown so much.
Yeah, he's become a force on both the offensive and defensive end now. He's, regularly putting up 20 and 10 games, along with a couple blocks and a couple steals generally. So, I mean, he's just doing it all. And if it weren't for a certain alien down in San Antonio, you'd probably hear a lot more national discussion about Chet Holmgren.
But I kind of like that we don't because I like that we have our hidden gems. Have you heard everything that's been going on with Jared McCain since he has showed out this series? Like every national media is all he got the after interview Thursday night with his 18 points.
Yeah, he did. Well, and he was
I
7 of
love.
11 from the floor on those 18 points. Um, and because of Shea's foul trouble, which,
Yeah,
you know, who could
shocking.
have foreseen Shea having four fouls a minute into the third quarter,
Right?
literally having to sit the entire third quarter to keep him from getting within one foul of fouling out.
Which threw off his rotation, I
Yeah,
think. I mean, because he has such a regular rotation in and out. And the third, is a big deal for him.
yeah,
And
normally he plays the entire third.
yeah, so he can
Um
sit the fourth,
well,
except in playoffs.
or play like the final 6 minutes of the fourth should he need to come back in.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's much more usual that he's there the entire third quarter. And I don't know if that got the Lakers to take their foot off the gas or if they were just getting in their own heads about the officiating. But it from that point on, instead of taking advantage and being
Hmm.
like, hey, this is our chance, we can, get out to a lead and actually take this game. They got out to a lead for a couple minutes, but before you knew it, Jared McCain was draining threes.
Hmm.
AJ Mitchell was driving to the basket, making wild layups, and they couldn't stop him. And the Thunder
No,
were up by
they got
13.
they got sloppy. I mean, 19 turnovers. That's not a ref issue. I'm
No.
sorry, it's not.
And I hear the arguments, well, they some of those turnovers are caused by fouls. Chances are no, they're not. But
Not 19.
even if a couple are, it's not all 19.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, some of those plays where they make good defensive plays, if they touch the ball before the body contact is made, and I've seen other fans from other fan bases go wild, but you touch the ball first, then the body contact becomes incidental and it's a loose ball, and the
Hmm.
refs are generally going to let that go. So I know people think that some of those turnovers are fouls, but they're really not, and they generally are called pretty consistently.
Yeah. It was interesting, that the Lakers approached the refs after the game for a discussion
Yeah,
instead of going to the locker room.
I don't know if you heard much about what that discussion ended up being.
I heard the only bit I heard was somebody sitting in media row, um, who heard Shay listening and was like, after a while, Shay was calling to one of the refs going, "Hey, can we have a meeting
Yeah.
too?" And I just had to laugh because, my PJ, he's hilarious and he just doesn't get to show it
Yes.
enough. But I don't know about
S-
the actual discussion.
So that discussion afterwards, from what I've now gathered based on reporting from Sam Amick of The Athletic,
Hmm.
he was on Run It Back NBA show on FanDuel Sports TV. And he said he was sitting like in media row right there near center court. And that what had happened earlier in the game, if you recall, there was the jump ball that took forever to get everybody organized, and the ref had
Hmm.
turned around and yelled at Austin Reaves at one point. Apparently, that ref said something kind of disrespectful and had
Oh,
kind of turned around and snapped at Austin.
oh,
And
okay. That's
Austin approached the ref after the game to then say, "Hey, the way you treated me after that jump ball, like on that jump ball, that was disrespectful. And for you to tee us up when we say things like that to you all, you shouldn't be doing that back to us. Like it's on you to set the example." And like that's kind of what the discussion ended up being about. It was not about like the officiating of the game more broadly. It was
hmm.
about that specific interaction that Austin had taken offense to. And then JJ came in and was yelling about the way LeBron gets reffed. And to be fair, and I talked about this on an interview I did with Omar Zaran on his
Hmm.
Deep Cover podcast, is I think there is some legitimate beef with how you get reffed when you're LeBron James
Hmm.
because he's big
Right.
and big players play through contact without it impacting their movement. And so oftentimes a lot of contact gets let go because they're so forceful through it that it has almost zero impact on their drive to the rim.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times bigger players do get hacked at more and a lot of that gets let go. But I don't think that's unique to LeBron. I think it's unique to bigger, more powerful players like that. And guards tend to be of slighter frame, and it
Hmm.
doesn't take as much contact to push them off course and make it
Yeah.
easier for the ref to make that call. So,
I
um,
think what you're explaining about Austin Reaves waiting until after the game to have that conversation with the ref, that kind of explains more about why LeBron was seen agreeing more with what I mean, you could see him nodding along.
yeah,
And so if it was about disrespect, I can actually see a little more of that rather than LeBron visibly agreeing so heartily about overall reffing. Because
yeah,
LeBron tends to he'll snipe, he may say something in the locker room or whatever, but he's not gonna, he's a little more media conscious.
Yeah, now he screams at refs plenty on his own, but
No, exactly, but
it
that he
it's
owns that one.
it's generally the result of him being mad that they don't make those calls. He's a big, powerful player, and like it's just gonna keep happening, you know?
Yeah.
So
Until he's not around, which at this rate, who knows? Because he's still playing so strong.
I
It's crazy.
know 23rd year in the league. And how cool is it? LeBron James played his 300th playoff game in Oklahoma City. You know, Oklahoma City didn't even have a team when he joined the league.
Right. And he got to play with his son, you
Right?
know, which to me, it would cap everything off. But when you see him like this, because prices went up for game two higher than game one, because I think word went around that maybe this is the last time LeBron would play in Oklahoma City.
It, you know.
Um, and that's a possibility, but the way he's playing, I we may see another season, depending on what the Lakers want to do.
Yeah, I don't know that he's ready to retire. I'm not sure. Only he knows that.
Hmm.
And he would know whether he'd want people to know if it was his retirement season or
Right.
not.
I don't know if he wants a farewell tour or not.
Some players want that, some don't. You know, it's really to
Some
each
want
his
it and don't
own.
get it.
Chris Paul.
Um,
Um, that's I feel bad for Chris Paul.
yeah. But LeBron, I mean, there's just no other way to put it. I mean, he's not the same 18-year-old player. He's stronger, forceful, and his IQ is superb,
Hmm.
you know.
I mean,
So,
he's dragging that not very deep roster into the second round of the playoffs. Like
yeah.
that's that's phenomenal. Like that Michael Jordan in his older years wasn't doing that. So
Mm-mm. No, no. I do think they're home tonight. Tonight is Saturday. We're recording a day late because of me. So they're recording, no, they're playing tonight, and it's the first game in LA.
yeah.
And I feel like if they're going to win a game in this series, that it will be tonight because they'll have home crowd momentum. I just feel like tonight might be there because they played so well. It may carry over.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big
I know,
if,
I
I
know.
think.
But
I
I
mean,
but see, I'm willing to give them a gentleman's sweep. I've
in
always said a gentleman's sweep.
in my opinion, this is a worse matchup than even the Phoenix matchup. Like,
I know,
I
I
I
know. I'm trying to be
I know you're being nice. I
sportsmanlike.
don't know. I don't know if I see it. Like the fact that they couldn't pull out one of those first two games when Shea was having terrible nights in both games. Like
They'll say it was planned.
they
That was their
truly
game
could have
plan.
had it. Like especially game two. You had Shea in foul trouble. You forced the
Yeah.
Thunder to have to go deep in the bench, and it just didn't matter. The Thunder won by 18 both games. Like these ended up not being particularly close games.
Now, I will repeat, and I've said it, let's see, this is our 29th episode, at least 29 times. These injuries have done nothing but help our bench. It has prepared our bench for exactly this
Yeah.
because Mark, he plays a deep bench, but all of these guys, and it's so funny to hear national media just like be surprised that our bench is just so deep. And I'm like, have you not been watching all season with all of the injuries? Who's been in? Who's been playing? Mark playing the weirdest rotations. Like,
Yeah.
this is why we're here, just like this.
Yeah.
So,
No, without all those opportunities, Ajay Mitchell maybe isn't ready for the spotlight in game two like that. But
right.
instead, he just took on the load and got it done. Just said, all right, it's on me. I'll run the show, and boom,
Yeah.
they did
And
it.
we expect, since J-Dub is out still with the hammy, which is fine, let him rest. Let him come back in game 4 to shake some of the rust off before the next series. But you know, AJ, it's not even a surprise that AJ's starting now. We're
No.
just like, okay. Did you did you see the after interview that Shay and Chet were in? And somebody was asking about Jared McCain. I know we're talking about AJ, but talking about bench players and stuff, and they were like, they're all ready to go. And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, our people are ready to go. And they said, Jared McCain, he goes, he's going to take the shot. If he hasn't already taken the shot, he's going to take the shot. And
Yeah.
Shay's just over here laughing because it's true. None of the players are afraid to go out there and make their shots or attempt them.
Yeah. And, having that no fear. I know I see some of our fellow fans getting upset when Dort's missing some early threes, but you know what? Like, you got to let some of that happen. Like,
Hmm.
to me, the fact that he keeps shooting after he's missed a couple is a good sign, not a bad sign.
Right.
And it's something that Mark has tried to instill in this team is to not be afraid of failure because you are going to miss some shots.
Hmm.
But in order to make them, you've got to be unafraid to miss some along the way. And that keeps you out of your head and keeps you from just getting down like, oh, I'm going to miss this shot and I'm going to get pulled from the game and I'm never going to get minutes. He lets these guys play through these spells, knowing like it's not about whether you hit the shot or not, it's about whether you took the right shot in the right moment.
And there have been several games where lose big rainbow threes are the first points of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing of beauty when they do go down.
Exactly. So I just, I ride those moments out. It's fine. I'd much rather him like be unafraid to take the next shot than see him hesitate, because that's when
Right.
things go wrong.
Yeah. That's true. If they stutter and they're afraid to take, then you're going to be seen as a weakness, and you're just going to be attacked, and you're not going to do anything, and you're just going to regress
Yeah. So
throughout. So
so yeah, I'm happy with how we're playing. Obviously, we are
absolutely.
6-0 in the
6-0.
playoffs now.
Mhm.
Um,
16
on,
and 0 is still on the table.
only team undefeated in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Um, San Antonio went out and lost game one to Minnesota.
Yep.
They are up 2-1 now, but they didn't
That was
exactly
close.
make it easy on themselves.
No. No, I mean, last I saw they were like 5 down, but I think they lost by 6 or 8. But again, close enough that, 2 possessions is not that much of a difference in, the last 2 minutes of a game.
Yeah, we stayed up late and watched all of that one last night. My husband wanted to see it through to the end.
Oh,
It
I'm
was
sure he did.
it was a good one. Unfortunately, man, Wimby really is showing up in these playoffs.
And we expected that. And so I think that if the Thunder do manage to make it out of this round and make it to the Western Conference Finals against the Spurs, I think that's going to be very interesting because people keep coming back to the fact, oh, well, look at how many times they beat him and look at this and look at that. And it's like 2 of those were second nights of back to back. And I'm not making excuses. I'm literally pulling out data for this.
Yeah.
Look, I have data. I have some data, but you'll have to correct me, but I have some. But like I think 2 of them were on the second night of back to backs. There was also injuries, and I think there was something else, but it was like we were not at full capacity in most of the games that we played. So this will be more of a test to see how they, well, I mean, because they're going at least five,
Yeah.
you know, there's going to be at least five games. And it'll be interesting to see if the, the Timberwolves pull out another one,
Yeah, they got another shot tomorrow on Sunday, Mother's Day. Happy
Yes.
Mother's Day to any mothers in our audience out there, and
Yeah,
to
it's
you,
Mother's Day
Paula.
weekend. Thank you. Yeah, that's, it's funny. I've actually been kind of watching to see, since the guys are in LA, for the game tonight. I don't know if they'll be back for um
Think they'll just stay
they
because
won't be
they,
back before. I figure they're going to
yeah.
stay. So I'm trying to look and look at all the wives and girlfriends pages to see if any of the guys have done anything yet for tomorrow. So I haven't seen anything yet, but that I know that the guys are going to do something, and I'm looking forward to see what they do because you know AC,
Hopefully,
he is just so giddy over Dr. Haley, but they're so
yes.
cute, and iHeart, and it's all of them. They're just so cute.
Hearten is learning how to hold his baby during the celebrations.
Yeah, and Shay and his wife and Eric, I don't know, all of it. It's just adorable. And so I'm anxious to see what folks do for tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on their socials and we'll bring you the scoops next week.
Yeah, it'll be cute, especially when they have time to come back home.
Uh, well,
But
we've got a fun one ahead of us tonight.
yep.
I think I already hear the complaints about officiating. Yeah, I'm already hearing them in my ear now.
Yeah, I know I know of at least one Lakers and Thunder chat that's happening on Threads, and I've already dipped a toe going, are you gonna let any Thunder fans in? We'll see. I was in one the other night that Mayor Yo Rush was hosting, and there's only so much I even want to say in these chats because I don't ever want to come across as too smug or demeaning to the fans because we are all just watching and we're enjoying our teams and all that stuff. But there's a time to speak and a time to just let them have you know, their own time to speak amongst themselves. And that was definitely the other
Be in their
night.
feelings. Maybe they need a
Yes.
support group.
Which totally understandable. If we'd have had those a few years ago when we were having issues. But I will say, all joking aside, they've made it to the second round of the playoffs. They are a good team. They
Yeah,
may not stack up well against certain competitors,
yeah.
but they are good enough to have gotten to the second round of the playoffs.
They were a 50-win regular season team. They won, I
Mhm.
think, 53 games. That's not terrible. That's a very solid season. Nothing to be ashamed of. This really was just like truly one of their worst matchups on the season. And
Yeah,
it's a team that they particularly don't match up well with, and that's okay. It's not a big conspiracy. I am sure the NBA would love nothing more than to have LA be going to a finals again. It's a
right.
much bigger TV market with a way bigger fan base around the world.
Yeah,
Um,
nothing like the refs boosting up a small market team to ensure that they get to the finals.
And if y'all want my in-depth discussion on that, I again recommend you go listen to the Deep Cover Pod with Omar Zaran. Omar's a friend of ours on Threads, and he does a weekly podcast as well. He covers sports more broadly than just the NBA, but we talked all things Thunder. We talked about officiating stuff, and I think
Yeah.
you'll really enjoy it. We had one of our Threads friends said he listened to it on his drive home yesterday and it made him feel a lot less crazy. So that's, good enthusiastic praise.
Mhm. I mean, it's good that there's a lot of conversations and stuff. So when I was in the hospital, as I humble brag being in the hospital. No, as I was being wheeled around, I was talking to people. There was one of the nurses that she had a Shea shirt on, so of course I've got to give her kudos. And this one guy, he was taking me to get my CT, and he was like, I'm a Thunder fan because I'm from Oklahoma City, but I love LeBron. I am a LeBron fan. And I'm like, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Like, you have your play. Like, I'm a Russ stan. It doesn't matter where Russ goes. I'm still going to cheer for Russ, but I'm going to cheer for the Thunder because they're my home team. But you have a lot of conversations. He mentioned that he actually had heard of us. And I was
Ooh.
like, ooh, so I don't care if you're just saying that, but it sure felt good. Um, but there was more people throughout the through my visit that everybody's talking about the Thunder. And it's just such a neat city thing that people are sharing, and it's just a fun time.
I remember when we made it to the finals in 2012, I
Hmm.
had a court appearance in Oklahoma County that morning, and I was doing a criminal defense matter. So it was like on a pre-trial docket, so nothing major. But I went in there for that short hearing, and there's a bunch of other people on the docket at the same time. Literally, like everyone in that courtroom sitting in the pews, sitting
Hmm.
attorneys, the judge even had like some Thunder gear on, like that was visible. Like
Hmm.
everybody from like the defendants to the criminal defense attorneys to the prosecutors to the judge. We were all Thunder fans in that room, and it was so wild.
I know that Aaron had asked me, "Are you wearing your Nikki T jersey in the ER?" And I was like, "I'm not going to wear that in the ER. That is gets a little bit more respect, but I hadn't gotten dressed for the game yet when I decided to go over there. But if I'd have had it on, I probably would have worn it.
Right. It's
You
probably
know,
better you didn't. You don't want to risk anything happening to that one.
no, that one's that yeah, that's
That-
mine.
That's
So
got a story to go with it and everything.
yeah. So I'll get me just a regular t-shirt but this is how deep we are. Nikki T is getting playoff minutes.
Right? I love it.
I mean, this is a guy that's been back not even 6 months. And it's just, I love it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
what a story. What a
I
story.
love our bench. I just love I don't know. I just like our roster. I might
Be,
be biased though.
I think we have a great, lovable team. I think the fan base is still trying to adjust to the fact that we are now kind of the villains to everyone else.
Yeah.
And it's hard because they seem so lovable and amazing to watch to us. But when you're the other fan bases watching your teams get demolished and being like, can we maybe even win a game in this series against them?
No.
Like, they're not going to be happy with us and they're going to
Well,
see our
no.
exuberance as
Mm.
smugness and they're going to try to find ways to knock it because they're sad.
Yeah, I saw somebody being snarky about J-Mac's fingernail polish the other day. Like, we're getting demolished by a guy who wears nail polish, and it's like,
Yeah,
did
you
you
are.
ever see Rodman? Oh, exactly, yeah. And
Right, and Rodman. We had Scott Pollard back in the day.
it's
And
not new,
there's a long history of it, at least for 20 plus years.
right? But they're digging for something when that's their go-to, you know. Well,
That's all you got,
okay.
huh? I,
So
for one, like his nails, so
Somebody on Threads the other day was like, "Hey, I need to know where gets his nails done so I can get mine done." And I was like, "Well, if you can't, you can at least get the brand that he reps, which is Sally Hansen, so you can at least have that from Jared."
There you
So
go.
it's making it, these guys make an impact even in just the littlest ways. And I love it. And that's
Did
why we talk
you,
about the whole thing.
speaking of McCain, did you see the interview where he talked about the 3-point celebration that he had and the crowd doing it back to him?
That picture is
And
amazing.
he was like, I am framing that. That's going in my house. Like, he was
Absolutely.
so
I mean,
excited.
I would be blowing that bad boy up because that is just, and you can just see so many. You just look through the crowd and it's just everybody just giving his celly back to him. And it's just, it's got to
You
feel
know,
good.
he said, he's like, at first I was heartbroken that I got traded, but now he's like, oh my gosh, like I love these fans. I love this city and the fan base. And he couldn't be happier to be in this situation. So,
He does talk about that. I know it was on his YouTube this past week. He was driving because there were people that came and it was middle of the day and did the airport run,
hmm.
the airport greeting when they came back from Phoenix. And it's just all the people there and it was just middle of the day and he was like couldn't believe that, people would take off work to come and see and you know, celebrate them. And I don't know. I love that tradition though. I love it. I haven't had an opportunity to do it, but I think it's great for those who do.
I love it too, and it's just you don't get that with every fan base and every culture, and it really is something special. And I hope you fans out there that get to be a part of all this soak it up and enjoy it and enjoy these moments when we're 6-0 in the playoffs and
Mhm.
just enjoy it while we got it because we never know how long these moments last and all don't be sad thinking about what could be, just enjoy what is.
Exactly. And I'm enjoying it and I can't wait to get comfy at home tonight and watch it in my own recliner and not a hospital bed.
Well, we are sure glad to have you back. I filled in on the post game wrap for you the other
And
night.
I
I
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I tried to do it a little bit like you would do it, but I also tried to just do it my own way because I can't fill your shoes. So
Oh
I had to
no,
just kind
there's
of
no
do my
shoes.
own
Everybody
thing.
can celebrate. I love it. I appreciate you stepping in, partner. I do.
We
And I'm
both
glad
had
to
a
be
rough
back.
one this week.
This
It
was.
was not the
And
best week for either of us.
I do want to mention that unfortunately our mascot Azul did pass this week. So,
Yes, for
but we
those
had
of
a blue
you,
out and a win that night to honor Azul.
we
That's how I
did.
completely take it.
Yeah, I
So
think the guys were playing for him.
I absolutely know they were. I mean,
They,
I sent them a message and was like, this is what you need to do. So I'm
yeah,
sure they listened.
yeah. So they had to win during the blue out.
Exactly. But
So,
next week will be fun because we get to see how and if the Thunder can wrap up this Lakers season. I mean, well,
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
but the
we'll
series,
wrap up the Lakers season. By
little
this time
Freudian
next
truth
week, they will
slip.
be partying in Cancun or wherever, and the Thunder will either know that they're playing the Spurs or be waiting for that to be official.
Yeah, I know that it's on the count. I know that our series, this round two series with Lakers, is tentatively scheduled through the 18th.
Yep.
So I don't know, depending on how long our game and the Spurs game series continues, when it would actually start if neither game goes to seven. I don't think we know that yet.
I don't think they have it lined up specifically, but I would imagine it would be probably 3 days or so after. Like they'd probably let each team get a little bit of rest before
Yeah.
starting, but they'd probably start fairly soon thereafter. I believe June 3rd is the scheduled opening date for game one of the finals.
Yes.
So if
So,
they could sneak it in a little early, they probably wouldn't mind.
yeah. But again, we'll see how hard these series go. I anticipate the Spurs Wolves games to be a little tighter. I'm hoping.
Yeah, one other thing to watch for this weekend tomorrow, Sam Presti will be in New York for the draft lottery, with the
Yep.
Thunder holding that Clippers pick and the Clippers having about a 7% chance of a top four pick.
Hmm.
We might be talking about the Thunder landing a top four pick tomorrow.
I would I would love to discuss that. But Thunder legend Nick Collison will be on stage for that.
All right.
Love to see that.
I love Collison. I saw him walking around Midtown one day when he was still playing in his playing
Do you have to
days.
look way up?
Yeah, so I was
Mhm.
like, oh wow, like okay. I, I
Oh,
had just
so
gotten
it'll
out
be,
of my little Mini Cooper, so I was like, oh geez,
he would totally tower over a Mini Coop. I can't even.
yeah.
One of my favorite stories about tall Thunder players, and it's so bizarre. There's a float place up in Edmond that does sensory deprivation tanks and water therapy and stuff like that. And the typical egg for those is about 6'4", 6'5", for you to be able to float and not
Hmm.
touch anything. And what they said was they actually had Thunder players that came in and they had to build a special 7-foot tank for them to be able to do it. But the only bad side was the way it was built, it kind of resembled a coffin. And I thought, that is the worst. Can you imagine getting in a narrow box? I mean, I don't know if you've
No,
ever done sensory deprivation tanks. Um, I've done
I've
it
not.
once. I've done it once because I thought I'm always surrounded by noise because there's always chaos, there's always something. So let me go have a nice little quiet respite from things. No. I got in and the lights went off and it closed. I could have kept the lights on, but I was trying to immerse. And that's when my brain said, "Oh, now that we have a minute, let's talk about the shoes that you wore in the third grade and the spelling bee." Like, I was like, not even in there 5 minutes before my head was just noisy, noisy. And I was in one of the, because I'm only like 5'6". Oh, hey, dog. I'm only like 5'6". And so I had plenty of room to stretch out and not touch anything, and everything's fine. I cannot imagine being in a narrow, long box, sensoried down. I don't know.
I Not my thing, but hey,
No, it has not been my thing since,
when
but
I
I know
want
a
peace,
lot of
I go out
people.
to my land and just get in the forest and hear the birds chirping and all
But
that
you,
good
you had
stuff.
snow this week, didn't you?
Yeah, none that stuck, thank goodness. But yeah, two of the nights that I went out for walks this e on in the evening, it snowed like little snowflakes on us while we were walking.
As Prince says, sometimes it snows in April.
And May.
Yes, it is May. I'm going to blame the meds again. I'm tired, Britt.
Prince has a song called Thunder, by the way, which is actually
Really?
a banger of a song. So if you're looking for some Thunder hype music, go on to like YouTube Music or wherever you listen to your music and stream Prince's Thunder. Great
Nice.
song. All
Well, I
right.
think we need to probably wrap this up for today.
I think so. Thank you for making it off of the IR today and making a run at this, and I'm sure the fans appreciate it.
Thank you for delaying a day because I this is one of my favorite times of the week. And I came home and my son goes, "Okay, you're gonna rest." I'm like, "Actually, I'm gonna go record the pod with Brett." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "I am not
Crazy.
giving up my time with Britt for this. So I can rest after." So
All right. See, we do this for you all, everybody. So subscribe,
smash that button.
and we're on YouTube, on your podcast apps. Go find us on Threads or TikTok or Instagram, and we'll see you after the game and before the game and once every week. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.